Who's making love to your old lady while you were out making love? That's interesting. Oh, hello, everybody. So welcome to the Somebody Jones Show. I am he. It is the evening edition. Baby, how y'all is? Come on in the water. It's fine. Hey, I'm out here in the park. Sitting in the park, waiting for you. Come on in. Come on in. I'm going to talk about some stuff as it deals with men and women's. Women's. Hadn't done a romance in the park in a little while, but I'm sure doing one tonight because it's a beautiful 72 degrees in Surrsville. Oh, it feels absolutely fantabulous out here. Hey, as y'all all know, that I always do stuff dealing with history, so I want to talk about a little history here as it pertains to a particular commercial. You ready for this? Are you ready for this? Here it is. Ooh, it feels good out here. You should be out here. A nice cool breeze. Let's see. There is a movie called Citizen Kane. Probably one of the greatest movies ever written. And the man who wrote, produced Citizen Kane did a commercial in the 1970s. It was Orson Welles is his name. Orson Welles was a very controversial character back in the day, in the when was this, 30s or 40s, when he did the War of the Worlds or something. He did a radio show and scared everybody, especially white folks. White folks were scared. Hey, Veronica. Hey, Wendy. In the 1970s, they hired him to be the spokesman for a wine called Paul Masson. Anybody remember Paul Masson? If you're old like me, you'd remember it. I'm switching glasses so I can see y'all. Oh, I can see y'all's. There it is. Paul Masson motto was, we will sell no wine before it's time. I believe that's the one. Anybody remember that? We will sell no wine before it's time. Paul Masson. Well, Maurice Gregory, I think that is meant as it pertains to what women are looking for in us. I think that too many women are asking men to do and say things that's really not in their hearts. Uh-oh. Here's where I get in trouble. Yeah. Explain, Sir Jones. All right, I'll explain. I think there are a whole lot of relationships out there, especially those in marriage, who was coerced by the woman. Yeah, I believe that there's too many marriages out there where the man is in it and he feels trapped. I believe that there's so many marriages out there that the man is in it and it's almost like somebody put a gun up against his head and said, marry me. That may not have physically happened, but that's the way he feels. Why? Because y'all got to a certain place in your relationship while you were dating, and he gave you some vibes that ain't ready. He may not have told you he ain't ready because he didn't want to make you feel like he wanted to protect your heart. So he just figured, you know what, I better do this because I like the girl, but I don't know if I'm ready for that institution called marriage. Yep, Brenton says that's why we shouldn't marry for sex. Yep, I'm trying to tell you, Jermaine. Come on, Veronica. He in it. Now he's got to try and find a way to make it work, even though he feel like he's living in a jail or a penitentiary or a dungeon or a prison or an orphanage. Yep, true. That's why some men detour before coming straight home. Come on, Van. You just spoke. The flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you. I was there. That's why I'm telling you. I mentioned your name 3 or 4 times, Van. Oh, is that 5? Let me tell you something. I was married to a woman who made me very uncomfortable. And so what did I do? After work or after church, I tried to find other places to go. Not in the arms of other women. I just wanted somewhere else to go because I didn't want to go home. So after church, I said, y'all going out to eat? They said, no. I said, well, I'm taking y'all out to eat. My treat. I was hoping that service would not be over early. Every Sunday I said, Pastor, preach, Pastor. Preach, Pastor, preach. I said, Pastor, preach again. I think we should have a revival starting tonight. We should revive until at least midnight. That's the time my wife would be falling asleep. I'm trying to tell y'all, I wanted to stay out. Why? Because I was at home with somebody who I felt was not on one accord with me, mentally or spiritually. So, there are men out there who are trapped in the closet. Not that kind of closet. They're just trapped in the marital closet. Why? How'd they get there? Here's why. Here's how. It led up to something. Didn't start overnight. Y'all came together. You start dating. You start liking each other. You might have started falling in love. The man might have started falling in love with you, but he realized there's some things missing there. Marriage scares him. So a lot of men will date you for years. He'll even get to the place where he will get on one knee and ask you for your hand in marriage, but never set a date. Why? Because he need to keep you. See, he like who y'all are right now. He like what y'all doing right now, and he's afraid that if he go into that institution called the Big M, it's gonna change everything. That's why a whole lot of men are okay with just shacking. He all right with it. I'm trying to tell you. Yep. So, we already know that's not right, but this show ain't about what's right or what's wrong. This show is about reality. Does that make any sense to anybody out there? Notice, my romance in the parks are not about what's right, what's wrong. It's about reality, what to expect out of a man or a woman so that you'll know how to interpret it and make it right or make it wrong. Yep, bed warmers, Bernie has said. Okay, so now he's dating you and you are bringing up words that our parents didn't bring up back in their day. My out was working overtime, Van says. Come on. All right? Our parents didn't use the word marriage before its time. Yeah, Paul Masson. You see, he on the first date with you, and the word marriage pops up. Who does that? He ain't do it. She did it. He on the first date. Matter of fact, it may not even be a date. He just might have asked you out for coffee because he don't like drinking alone, and you brought up marriage. You say, I want my husband to be like yada, yada, yada. And when I get married, yada, yada, yada. Oh, I'm trying to tell you. Come on. Bernie say, speak, prophet. Let me tell you how I know. If he pick you up and y'all go out for sandwiches and he turn the radio on and a love song come on, he gonna say, that's my jam. Okay? He gonna say, man, them chord structures, that's nice. Them lyrics, it's nice. Or that guy, he gonna talk about the history of who that artist is. He gonna go back and talk about what happened when he first heard that song. Mm-hmm. What the woman gonna say who's sitting in the passenger seat? She might even be driving because a lot of dudes don't have cars, so she might be the one that picked him up. When that song come on, Van, guess what she gonna say about that song? Anybody out there know what the woman gonna say about that song? Okay, let me help you out because Facebook is a little slow with the comments. Here's what the woman gonna say. She gonna say, I want that song played where? Can I see the comments? Where? Where is she gonna say, I want that song played? Anybody? Anybody? I know you're typing, but again, Facebook comments come in slow when you're on live. She gonna say, I want that song played at my wedding. I'm gonna get married to that song. Men don't say that. Men don't ever, never in the history of not never, ever say those words. Men don't ever say it. He ain't thinking about no wedding. Yep, Van, that's our wedding jam. My wedding. Come on, Leslie, Terry. Yep, at my wedding. Men don't think about that at all. Okay? Now, they on the first date, Jermaine. They're on the first date, and she hears the song, and she say, ooh, man, when I get married, I want that song to play my wedding. He gonna hear the song and say, oh, that's my jam. That's it, he done. I wonder why. Is there something going on in the psyche of a woman as it pertains to the psyche of men as it pertains to relationships? See, he want her. He desires her. How far he want to go with her, though, is a prod and a poke. And that needs to happen to him. A prod and a poke. With her, touch, bam, I'm ready. I ain't talking about all women, but statistically, it is proven that a woman, once she falls in love, immediately she's thinking about not the future with him as much as that one day called the marriage or the wedding ceremony. Yeah, she thinking about the wedding. She thinking about the dress. She thinking about the bridesmaids. She thinking about the ring bearer. She thinking about the church. She thinking about the cake. She's thinking about the reception. She's thinking about the honeymoon night. Not him. No. Because if marriage comes up in their conversation, no matter when this happens, if marriage comes up in the conversation, she thinking about all that stuff. He thinking about, oh man, I'm about to lose my life. I got to get rid of this. I got to cut this person off. I've got to think about my insurance. I got to think about house. And he's thinking about it. What about children? He's thinking one way. She's thinking about one day. One day. That's it. He's thinking about a whole lot of days add on to a whole lot of years. That is typical. That is not exclusive to all women. So some women are going to come on here, especially you on YouTube. You're going to comment and say, bruh, you wrong. That ain't me. That's your experience. But I'm telling you, your sisters, a whole lot of them think that way. So what happens? In the conversation, y'all in the car or walking down the street or somewhere, Bernier says, more bills. Yep. And he telling you and showing you. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Every woman I've ever talked to in the history of talk-toism always quote from the poet Maya Angelou. Everyone. Every time you mention Maya Angelou, what is that one quote of hers that all women in every country, every tongue, every religion, every language, every race always bring up? What is that one quote from Maya Angelou? Can anybody tell me what that quote is? I'll help you out since Facebook is a little slow. Here it is. I might be misquoting it, but she said, when a man, now I know y'all, she might have said person, but women put in man. When a man show you who he is, believe him. Yeah. I think that's her quote. Mm-hmm. So, y'all quote that from her all the time. Here's the problem. Y'all are good at quoting. Yeah, Terry good. When he is showing you who he is. See? Believe him. Come on, Terry. Yeah. Y'all are good at quoting. But y'all ain't good at living up to the quote. Oh, okay. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Okay, let me help you out. There was an amazing Seinfeld episode, Leslie Hicks. And on this, he rented a car from his apartment. He called in and rented a car and had it reserved. He and Elaine gets to the car place and says, yes, a car for Seinfeld, please. And the woman is typing in her computer. And she looks at him and says, I'm sorry, we're overbooked. He says, but I called. She says, yes. He says, but I called to reserve a car. She said, yeah, but I'm sorry, we sold out. He said, now he said something that stuck with me for years to come, because this happened in the 90s. He said, now, what was the purpose of me calling to reserve a car and getting here now there is no car? Well, that happens, people call. And he says, here's the thing. You're good at taking reservations. I thought it was brilliant. It was the best scene in all of the 10 years. He said, you're good at taking reservations. Oh, you're just passing out reservations all day. Oh, you're a great reservationist. He said, the problem, though, with your job is you're not good at holding. Yeah, anybody can just take a reservation. Yeah, give me the phone. I can reserve everything. He said, but it's the holding part that's more important than the reservation. Have you ever called in a restaurant to a chicken place? Because we got Sharks here in Chicago, the Sharks restaurant. Mm-hmm. I called in Sharks, said, give me a 5-piece chicken leg. Mm-hmm. And put in there, what do you want on it? I want hot sauce on it. Okay, you want fries with that? Yeah, I want fries. Mm-hmm. All right. 15 minutes, please. I said, okay. I get there 20 minutes later just to get him some time. And I get up to the counter and I say, she'll say, what number? I say, number 11. That's what you gave me over the phone, number 11. Ooh, hey, Joe, put the chicken on. Wait. Hold up. So you mean to tell me I called in and you told me 15 minutes is going to be ready. You gave me a ticket number. I get there 20 minutes later to give you time. And now when I show up, you telling Bojangles in the back to put the chicken on, which is going to take me another 15 minutes. Because you told me it takes 15 minutes to cook that chicken. Now, I done wasted a half hour or so waiting on my chicken. It's easy to take the reservation for the chicken. I get here, ain't no chicken on. I got to wait 15 more minutes. You see, that's the issue here. I know how to fold them and I know how to hold them. Bernier. That's the whole point right there. You see, it's easy to make quotes from famous dead poets. But do you know how to hold it in your heart? You see, when a man is showing you who he is, you don't believe him, you ignore him. And he's trying to tell you, I ain't ready for this part of the relationship. No, why? Because you are passing your flower of time. Some of you feel that ain't enough men on the earth, and this one right here is in my face, and I better snatch him before somebody else snatch him. So I'll do whatever I can to transform, to conform, or whatever I need to do to get him, and take my chance, hoping that he's going to change once we get married, if that happens. And then you get in that relationship and you're crying and gnashing and weeping of teeth, wondering, what the hell was I thinking? Why did I do this? God, get me out of this. Now you're going to God to help you get you out of this, when you then go to him to assist you in telling you he ain't the one. You see, funny thing, you won't believe the poet society, neither will you listen to God. Why? Because your flower of time is just about up. That's a bad system, Demetrius say. So you want the guy because he's charming. He's charismatic. He seems to be available, and he might be. He may not have no woman. He might be available. But what is in his heart, though? Because just because y'all had a great time, a great night, a great time at the movies, a great walk in the park and all that stuff, now you ask him, hey, well, tell me about what's your desire? Why you feel about me? And he tells you, I don't know, let's just be friends for now. And then you say, well, but we've been knowing each other for at least 7 months. And that's all you want? Well, and then you start pushing on him with words and making him feel like he's up against the wall. And guess what's going to happen? He will start to conform over to the moment. You ever been with a man? This is Romance in the Park, so I can go there. You're having sex with the man. Okay? You're having sex with the man. Again, this ain't about right or wrong. This is about reality. You're having sex with that man. He's inside of you. And then you ask him a whole bunch of questions. You know what those questions are. He's going to answer every question the way you want him to answer it. Why is he answering these questions the way you want him to answer it? Because you got him at a place of vulnerability, and he's trying to release. And one thing that disturbs men most is during sex, you ask him the wrong question, so he gotta lie like Donald Trump. He'll say, I know I said would, but I meant wouldn't. Yeah, Bernier, come on. Do you love me? Yep. Do you love me? That is the number one question during sex, after sex, before sex. Funny thing about that, do you love me? Before sex, it's appropriate. After sex, it's appropriate. During sex, it ain't appropriate. Some of y'all like, huh? I don't get it. Oh, if you was a man, you'd get it. Because to some men who may not love you, if he's in you, he love you until it's over. And when it's over, he still may tell you he loves you, but he gonna show you otherwise. See, during sex, he's showing you something, and you interpret this, the penetration as, oh, that boy love me, because we have the greatest sex. Sure. But everything around that is shaky, is on shaky ground. Yeah, he loves you at the moment. Come on, Demetrius Pitts. Come on. He loves you at the moment. See, he loved you enough to get you to the bed. Just long enough to get you to the bed. Now, let me break that part down. All right, let me help you out. For those of you who have doubt, all right, don't be doubting Thomases. Number one, some men love you up to a place where he gets you in the bed. But it is, y'all know how we use the word with Donald Trump, we call it treasonous. Yes, we can Bernier, one-on-one sex talk with Dr. We use the word treasonous. When Donald Trump went over there to Helsinki, he did a treasonous act, okay? But he did not commit treason. Like, how's that possible? How could you do a treasonous act, but not be treason? Well, here, let me explain it to you. Leading up to the sex thing. Number one, you can't convict a man for having an attitude, feeling a certain kind of way, or just lying. You can't convict a man for lying unless he's under oath. Bill Clinton, all right? You can't. So he could talk to someone who is the antithesis of the United States and say whatever he wants to. That doesn't make it treason. It's treasonous. It's the attitude or attribute of treason. But the act itself was not treason. Number two, because I kind of know the Constitution, it is only treason when you have a declared enemy. All right? That is, I think, Article 3. It is very specific. If there is a declared enemy and you're trading things to be a trader to your country, then it is a treasonous act. And believe it or not, as much as Russia is our enemy, they are not a declared enemy. So a good lawyer could fight that case. Why you think ain't nobody trying to start proceedings on treason? Because they can't. Legally, they cannot. So a man will talk to you in a loving kind of way. That don't mean he loves you. That only means that he is playing the role to get you to Helsinki. Oh, I feel weak in my knees. I need to raise myself an offer. Wait, say Jermaine, I'm so glad sex was never in my desire in my earlier part of life. Yeah, I don't have that testimony. I can't testify that way, Dr. Jermaine. Yeah, so some women are the same way. My brothers, sisters today are just as ratchet as some. Yeah, that's true. Yep. That's somewhat, but don't get me too far off the beaten path, Dre. Don't stay with me. Stay with me. As true as you are. When a man is erected, he will tell you anything. When it's over, he gets amnesia. Mama Charlie Vista Harris, I love it at you. Okay? Trump does a treasonous act. It's in his heart to lie and be treasonous. Men who want sex with you will play the role of I love you. He'll say it and act it out. There's something wrong with the discernment of a lot of women today. They just don't have that gift, so they can't discern if a man is true or not in how he's treating you. Is it from his heart or is it just from the outward appearance? So God looks on the heart, man looks on the outward appearance, but just because God says he looks on the heart doesn't mean he didn't give you the gift to be able to also look on the heart of man, because it's called this discerning of spirits. Does that make any sense? Okay. So he didn't exclude you from that gift. Many of you have it, you just don't want to use it, so you hold it, or you grieve it. That's why sometimes in the scriptures it says grieving the Holy Spirit. Some of y'all grieve the gift because you have a lust for the man. This is where I'm agreeing with Dre Doke, because both parties could lust after each other until they both get to a place where, oops, I made a mistake. There's an old song in the 1970s. Oops, I made a mistake, that's all. And mistakes can happen to anyone. That's PBS, Sesame Street or somebody, Zoom, I don't remember. Okay? Yep, many of us ignore Dimitri Pitts. So, some men will say, I love you. He'll take you through, he'll wine, dine, and all these things to a point to get you in the bed, and he got you in the bed. All right. Now, you interpret that as he must love me because he took me through the wine and dine ceremony. He got me in bed, and my interpretation of him kissing me, rubbing me, penetrating me means he must love me. And then after that's over, you don't hear from him for a little while. He disappeared maybe, or he might be around, but he's just acting funny. He released himself. The pressure. You ever look at a pot, a teapot on the stove after it goes, okay? You ever pay any attention to the pot after it steam's coming out of it and it's whistling Dixie, okay? Those of you young folk may not understand what that is, okay? All right, that means the tea is ready. You reach over there and turn the fire off. And you pour the tea in your cup and put the pot back on the stove. Do you ever go back and sit and look at that pot? Anybody? Anybody go back and just sit and look at the pot and wonder, is it going to do it again? Of course it ain't going to do it again. You have lost interest in that pot. It has served its purpose, and that's it. Done. That's the way some men are. Pressure has, and then you open the top, and you let all that steam out, and you closed it. Now you're waiting on that pot. Unfortunately, the man is accustomed to behaving that way. Why do you think prostitution is still thriving? It's just a temporary investment. Ooh, Pitts, You speak it. To some folk, I love you means I lust you. That's true, Veronica. That's true. All right? So, he gets you to that place. He taps. He's out. All right, now, when a man show you who he is, believe him. But you have temporary amnesia. Who said that earlier? You have amnesia. You forgot. You forgot. There was a great study by SPREAKER University that says, ladies, don't worry. You're walking in the park with your man, and a beautiful woman walked by, and that man turns around and look at that woman's. He might look at her butt, her hair, her legs, depending on what a man likes in a woman, and you getting upset. The university said, trust me, 2 minutes or less after he turned around and pay attention to where he's walking, he have literally forgot what that woman looked like. He do not have her on his mind, and he will never ever think about her again. I said, wow, that is so true. How is that possible though? Because a lot of men live in the moment. And if a man live in the moment with you, that might be a problem. You see, he ain't trying to cheat on you. He was developed to be a man. He was created to be a man. Men are conquerors, and they are moved by their eyes. That's why during sex, he's looking at certain parts of your body. He's looking at your eyes. I did that show. Go on my YouTube channel below and you'll see the shows I did in Romance in the Park. The eyes are the windows to the soul, and even in pornography, the man stares at the eye. And if you ever look at any of that kind of stuff, I'm hoping you don't. Thank God I'm delivered from that mess. But the pornography industry did their study, and that's why they have the woman look at a man during sex. Look at the man. And the man who looks at the pornography is looking at the woman's eyes from his computer. I don't think anybody, and if you don't study this stuff, you'll never ever understand your man. Yeah, unless lust rules and controls him. Yep, visionary. Men are extremely visionary. Some men like a lot of light, some men like medium light, some men like a little light, but there must be some light in the room with men. Women turn off all the lights. She can make love in the dark. Men don't really care for that. He's got to see what he does, and he is a lion. He's a tiger. He's a bear. Oh my. He is that conquering beast that was put in him at creation, and he's got to feel in control, whether you riding him, whether y'all in a chair and riding him, or whether you feel like you got the upper hand with him sexually. He still got to see what he doing. I hope ain't no 9-year-old. This ain't family hour, so don't have the kids up watching the show tonight. You don't forget. You just allow your wicked heart desires to convince you that what you see and think isn't real. Come on, Pitts, I ain't got no offering for you, girl. I ain't got no offering for you. Lions, tigers, and bears. Yeah, come on, Bernier. So there is a makeup for men. There is this attribute in men, and if you don't know what that is, you wasting your time out there on the dating scene, and you're gonna always get into a place where you done been through 3, 4, 5 men until you finally found one that seemed like he's the right one, and then you marry him and then realize he's just like the other 5 I got rid of. How is that possible? And he's a pastor, he's an apostle, he's an elder, he's an evangelist. All them titles mean nothing to a lot of men who really are trying to escape reality by joining forces in ministry. I think I'm messing up here. Can I say it this way? Let me say it this way. There are a lot of homosexual men out there who marry women because they are trying to escape their sexuality. I walk, and that is such a stronghold that they're running from it. You see, I don't know why people think that every homosexual want to be a homosexual, every prostitute want to be a prostitute, every pimp want to be a pimp, every liar want to be like that. Is not true. Every man who's out there playing the women don't want to be that way. There are men who are at the hotel right now with a woman that's not his, and he's feeling tormented in his mind and in his flesh. I'm trying to tell you. And the only ones that know that that's going on in that man is, number one, God, and number two, his woman, who keeps standing by her man because she knows there's something in him that's driving him. You see, the enemy is not the man or the woman in y'all's lives. The enemy is that which is inside of him. The weapons of our warfare ain't carnal. We're not fighting against flesh and blood. So y'all quote that in church all the time, but not realizing you're sleeping next to someone who's got a principality. So you, as soon as he think to cheat or he cheat, you throw him out. You're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. There could be a powerful kingship in that man, and he made a mistake because there's a principality in him, and you don't even know how to deal with it. You don't know how to pray with him out of it. You don't know how to discern that there's a problem in his flesh and his mind and his soul and his spirit, and you don't know how to deal with it. So your way is, I'm out. That's a cop-out. So what did God do? He put Gomer in the brother's life to show the children of Israel, hey, y'all be cheating on me, so let me use this man as an example. And he kept telling the brother to go out there and get Gomer. She kept going out there chasing after man, and he kept going out there and getting her, bringing her back in. Oh man, one of the greatest stories. I'm trying to tell you. At that time, it's time to pause, and you yourself must regroup. Yep. Come on. After they put their titles and their certificates down, they are still men. Men, if you found them on the pole, or if they found you on the pole, you better keep him at Bernier. Bernier, man, you see, this. Y'all preaching, but this is true though, right there, what Bernier just said. These certificates, these doctorates and masters and bachelors and associates and chief apostle positions mean absolutely freaking nothing. Why? Because that man, around 2, 3, or 4 a.m., his penis wake up. And he ain't thinking about the certificate on the wall. He ain't thinking about it. His penis wakes up. And they say, hey, bro, man. You like, huh? Bro, man. Bro, man. He poking him. Hey, bro, what? You know, I ain't been touching in a while. I know. Go to bed. And he's just looking up. He's just looking up. His stocks are just climbing. Now it's 5 a.m. Good morning, sunshine. That's right. Just waking up. And he like, Father, in a name, and his penis is like, when you get through praying, I need to be in a cave. I'm trying to tell you. So now he got to decide whether he gonna overcome that, or he gonna give in to this, or what he gonna do. I've tried to Pitts, you already know. You started this already in the park. So he got to figure out, do I give in to this, or do I give in to that? You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, and so what happens? He gets with that. And then he becomes Schomburg, not Schomburg, what's the other guy? He started crying, I have sinned against thee. That would be his testimony after that. Well, what could have happened? What is it that he could have done to, that one-eyed demon got me sick. The ladies are acting crazy tonight. Okay, so what can you do? Well, there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. Let me get back to the focus of men, in many cases, appear that their minds are made up. Sorry. ladies, I didn't mean to break your bubble or bust it. That is, how you break a bubble? Who said that? A lot of times it seems like his mind is made up. Swagger, thank you, copy. His career choice is made up. His educational choice is made up. What he wants for breakfast is made up. What car he gonna buy is made up. I'm trying to focus, Demetri. I'm trying to focus, okay? Everything in his life, he's made up because he's got tunnel vision. The only thing that's not made up in his life is his relationship with his woman or his potential woman. He don't know what to do with that. And here's where you kick in. Some of you got to turn into Superwoman. Yeah, put an S on your chest. Turn into Superwoman. And to be honest with you, you don't really need any superpower. You just need to have the attribute of Sarah, who called Abraham Lord. It wasn't just the terminology, it was her attribute on how she was able to get him to do whatever she needed him to do. Man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. This seemed like I think it's going to be a sequel. He was an undercover freak. Yep, besides preaching. That's right. Undercover. So you think you're going to change him when you marry him. Not so. Sometimes they get worse. Because now you trapped him. Do you ever notice that there are a lot of people who shack up for years and then as soon as they decide we're going to do it right and get married, they're divorced within a year? I walk. What is that? You know what that is? You know what that is? Mental and spiritual. Number one, marriage is under attack. The enemy don't spend much time on you if you already a part of the enemy's camp. Yeah, Leslie, you heard that? Yeah. You see, if the enemy already got you, why are he spending precious time trying to get you? He already got you. So if you shacking up, he already got you. So why would he need to be trying to destroy that? But as soon as you enter into the only one institute that God has put together, that's the only, let me say it another way. That is the institute of several institutions that he has established. Anyway, that is the institution that only God created. Satan did not create the institution of marriage. He didn't do it. Nobody, no entity, no angels, no principalities, no powers, no angels. Nobody created that institution but God. So, of course, the enemy wants to attack that institution, and he does it successfully through mankind. So, if you're just shacking up or dating, what have you, he leaves you alone. Once you enter into that institution, it's like a man getting saved. He after that man because that man has a persuasive power over a whole lot of people. And Satan don't want him to get saved. When I got saved on a Friday night, rightly saved. I said, God, I'm sorry. I love you. I was a young man. And I says, that's it. I'm giving my life to the Lord and I'm going to go out there and witness to my friends. The next day, I had a car accident and got severely stabbed in the face. That's what that scar is. In the chest and in the back, and left on the streets of Chicago to die. Blood everywhere. Soon as I said, God, I'm sorry. I'm going to give my life to you. I was a young man who had people behind me, following me, and Satan tried to kill me. Yeah. But as long as I didn't care about getting saved, Satan didn't bother me. He bothered me. Okay? So that's what's going on here. As soon as you two says, I'm going to get married, the process starts with trying to destroy that thing. And then when you successfully get into it, y'all going to be under attack like crazy. Why you think that the average person watching this right now is divorced? Meaning they've entered into that writ, W-R-I-T. They know what that writ look like. You might be married again. Some of you watching this might be in your second marriage. Or you might be single today. But you once were married. And now you're divorced. And now you're in another situation. Do you not know my average listeners have been married before and entered into divorce? So they could say amen to what I'm saying here. All right? So please, ladies, be careful what you try to push a man to do, because you're going to force a man to do something he don't want to do. And then when you force a man to do something he don't want to do, he acts out. Remember the show I did where I told you that there's a little boy in All Men? That little boy acts out because you took the toy from him. You sent him to bed with no food. All right, you took something from him, told him he can't go out to the party, and so what he does, he act out. Now, who is he going to act out on? Who is he going to take it out on? He's going to take it out on you. Who did that? You did it. You're like, I did it. He should be held responsible for his actions. That's true. But Scripture also said that when you provoke a person, when you cause a man to sin, you're to be held responsible for it. Number 2, fathers, don't provoke your children to wrath. You're like, huh? Yeah. Number 2. Number 3, when a person is in sin and you know they are, and you ignore it, their blood is on your hand. You're like, how many times I see in Scripture where I'm being held responsible for another man's actions? That means we are all connected. Y'all quote the secular prophets by saying, no man is an island. Didn't y'all tell us that? Didn't y'all tell it? Didn't y'all tell me it takes a village to raise a child? Didn't y'all tell me that? Am I my brother's keeper? Is what one man said in Scripture. He asked God that question. Yeah, you are. So, we are all connected. So you could cause a man to stumble and God will punish you for it. Well, you're like, that ain't fair. Yes, it is. Try to teach you a lesson. Do you know the secular laws of the land work the same way? If you see a crime, especially a murder, and you ignore it, that they can arrest you for not reporting it? That has been in the books for many, many years. You know, there's some laws that says even though you didn't do the crime, but because you saw a crime and ignored it, it's almost like you committed the crime. What? Yeah. There are people who are in jail right now because they were in the car, they took a person to the bank, and the person robbed the bank and got in the car, and then the guy drove off. He didn't know that the guy was going to rob the bank. He ain't know. But he in jail right now because he got to prove that he ain't know that he was the getaway man. Because they charged him with accessory to what? Oh boy. Yeah. So, some of you are accessory to your man's sins. Whew. It's too deep for me. This is deepology. Some of you are responsible and an accessory to the sins of your man. Guilt by association. Come on, Bernier. Oh, yes, so true. We are responsible and connect through these issues. Come on. So you're supposed to feel the adversity of a man. You're supposed to bear the be a strength for those who are weak. How many times Jesus got to say that? He always saying, and there was this man and this man, and there was this woman and this man, and this. Why he's always bringing up two in his parables? Because he know we're connected. Notice, he never talk about one man walking alone and then he sees something and then this overcomes him and then he's in heaven one day. Notice, his parables always is there was a person had an interaction with another person. Man, this is too deep for even me. I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm thinking about getting married next week. Bernie, the way you talking, Bernie. Yes. Oh, yes, so true. I read that. All right. So you trying to get a man to say and do something that's not in his heart. And then what happens? It's like some of these white folk who go to the wild, to the jungle, and bring these little bear cubs home. These little tiger cubs home. Lion cubs home. Snakes and reptiles. They bring them home to make them pets. They're little bitty things. Mm-hmm. Not realizing, maybe they do realize, one day them animals gonna get a little older and older and older. And the Bible says, and the child grew. So what happens? That animal gets big enough to start eating their children. And then these white folks, it's not funny, but sometimes I laugh at them because that dingo stole my baby. That snake, they ate my newborn. That tiger mauled my husband to death. Wait a minute. You went to the wild. Yes, I did. Okay. Was that Jane? Jane, was she out there with you? You know that lady on the nature channels, that Jane woman. No, wait. You didn't have the crocodile wrestler guy? He dead now. You didn't have him out there with? No, I didn't. You didn't bring a zoologist out there? No. We just was walking the sands of the Serengeti, and we saw this tiger. It was a little cub, abandoned. I see. So does this cub eat soup? Mm-mm. Does this cub eat leaves? Mm-mm. Any kind of vegetables? Mm-mm. This cub is, what does this cub eat? It's a carnivore. Well, carnivore, what that mean? That mean he eat meat. Oh, I see. He eat meat. Okay. All right. And then you found a boa constrictor too? Yeah, a baby one. Oh, I see. What that thing eat? Leaves? Mm-mm. Vegetarian? Mm-mm. That thing eat meat too? Yeah. Okay. Your name Jane Pittman? No. My name is LaQuisha. How you white with the name LaQuisha? It's a long story. Okay. You live in Inglewood. Yes. Okay. So you bring them babies home to your house. With your husband. And your newborn baby. I figured they need love too. I see. So they played around in the backyard. And you let your children wash the babies in the tub. Oh, that's so cute. Okay. It's like 3 years later. Now that tiger is so heavy, you gotta. It take 4 of y'all. To put a leash around it to take it for a walk in the back. Yeah. Okay. You forgot to feed it today. All right. It's hungry. Yeah, it's hungry. You decided to leave your baby at home with this thing and go on a party with you and your husband. And your oldest kid is upstairs and the baby now. Okay. I'm going to give you life. Judge said, life. Take her away. I think that's what's happening with some of you as it pertains to men. He from the wild. And you trying to get him to do something that is not a part of his nature because the brother got a sin nature. Whew. Demetrius said this ain't gonna turn out well. He got a sin nature, first of all. And especially if you got some daughters hanging around there, some of these brothers ain't looking at you, he looking at your young daughter. Yeah. Betty Sue is her name. Betty Sue. We try to make a pig's ear into a silk purse. You could change the wild thing. Agape. Man, y'all crazy. Okay? So you got a wild man because you figured ain't no good men in the church no more. They all cheating or they all married or they homosexual. So we're going to go out here in the wild and look at our man. And he might be decent man, upscale, got his own company, got a nice car, owned his own house. Those things right there could catch most women off guard. Assets. His assets is what destroy most women. Come to find out that it was the janitor who made the best husband. Ain't that funny? They keep writing movies about that. Ask Tyler Perry. He always bring in that high yellow Negro. He got a trucking. He empties the garbage for a living. That guy. See, he'll bring in the dark-skinned brother with got the mansion and got the CEO job. That's the guy who's abusing the girl. But then that girl run out the house and find a garbage man, a janitor. Him. Even in that movie called Eve, Where Art Thou? Is that the name of? No, something Eva with what's his name? The lady lover. What's his name? Is it called Save Us from Eva? Yeah, with Gabriel Union and the old rapper. Yeah, I Need Love. What's his name? Always wiping his lips. Okay, that movie cracked me up. But it's the same type of Tyler Perry type-ish movie because she was an inspector of restaurants and what have you, but he was the guy who was chopping the meat in the back. Yeah. Y'all looking for the assets, and the man who don't have those assets turn out to be the greatest husbands. Yes, LL Cool J. Thank you, Karen. They turn to be the best men for the job because they're humble. Bring me a trash man any day with a godly heart. Come on, Agape. All he want is to take good care of you, but you see that he don't have clothes you like. He might even be living in the basement somewhere, in a basement apartment. But there's something about the heart of that man where he's got a good business sense. Some of them got good business sense. It's just he hit a brick wall. He was suppressed possibly by the system. There could have been systematic racism going on. Anything could have happened. He could have had come out of a bad relationship, all this stuff, and he's a good man. But when you see him, he ain't got no car. He asks you, yeah, can you pick me up? Because what man ain't got no car? You know what? Let me say this and shut this down because Romance in the Park was supposed to be only 30 minutes, but I extended it to an hour because, well, for Lent. Take them home, provide some soap, water, clean clothes, and a little cologne. It's all good. Pit say. Yes, it's not trash, man. It's sanitary operator. My bad. I remember when this was some years ago. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a house. I was going to church every day and minding my own business. Had 3 healthy children. The Lord blessed me with them. Walk around town. I had to get on the bus to get to where I needed to go. And there was a young lady at the church who I really liked. She was just, man, she was just so beautiful to me. Smile was just dazzling and just top notch. I asked her out for a date. I'll never forget this. She said, "You got a car?" I said, "No, I don't have one." She said, "You own your own house?" I says, "No, I live in an apartment." She says, "I don't know." Yeah, Bernier, she says, "So you You got a job? I said, I don't have a traditional job. I make my living. I'm self-employed. She says, oh, no, I need a man who's got security who's gonna take good care of me. That broke my heart. Agape, that broke my heart because. So I said to her, I said, so I have to have all those things for you to go out for at least. I'm just asking you out for a sandwich or something. She says, yeah, but this might get to a certain place, and then I need somebody to take care of me. I said, that's what you want? You living this life to see if some man can take care of you. She says, yes. Then I got righteously indignant. I said, so I have to have a car for us today? Well, I ain't gonna pick up no man in my car. I said, oh, boy, I tell you, whatever happened to the women back in the day? It's just amazing. I says, okay, no problem. Then I got bold. I got bold. I said, what you saying there? You never know how you might have to birth the man into his ministry. Come on, Bernier, there it is. I said, you do realize I'm pretty solid. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, you think because I don't clock in every day to a job that I'm collecting unemployment? She said, no. I said, you go to a man's job every day, don't you? She says, yes. I said, okay. I says, and you got insurance, don't you? She said, yeah. Mm-hmm. I said, what happens if you lose that job? She says, well, I have to go out. I have to find me another one. I says, okay. I said, even though I have an apartment, I pay my rent. Ain't nobody living home with me, and nobody help me pay rent. I pay my own rent. She says, oh, okay, that's cool. I said, I own my own company. She says, okay. I said, see, I go out there and can make as much money as I want to, depending on how much strength I have. You caught in a cap. She said, huh? Excuse me? I said, yeah, you in a cap. Yeah. You said your son went through that? So he's a good man. Yeah, come on. I says, you can only make as much as you can without being so tired because your boss got you working 40, 50, 60 hours a week salary. Right? Yeah. You don't really have much time in the evening to make no other money nowhere else because you're too tired. Mm-hmm. I said, I make more on the weekend than you do all week. You do? I says, I can guarantee you. Because I found out what you do for a living, and I looked on Google and see what y'all make. I make more on the weekend than you do all week. And I don't clock in, and I do that at home mostly. I walk around my house with my pajamas on and make more money than you do on your job every day. Just so? I said, yes. Yeah, me. I do that. And if I need to get anywhere, I can either catch this one, Uber was brand new in Chicago. I said I can get on the train or the bus or the Uber, or I can go down there to Hertz and rent a car and get to where I want to. Because I have several credit cards. I can just say, just use this card. She said, huh? I said, yeah. So you're looking at clocking in at 8 in the morning and getting off at 5 o'clock as being a real job. Meanwhile, I can go to sleep whenever I feel like it. You can't. You got to sleep like this on your desk because the boss might come in. Mm-hmm. See, I don't lose a job because I am the job. I'm my own boss. She's like, you know what? I said, so you looking at me not having a car in the house. I says, but if you lose your job, you possibly could lose your house and your car because I can guarantee you probably upside down in your house. You got a 30-year mortgage, and you got, I bet you got a $200,000 house. She said, $250, baby. I said, that's your problem. I says, and you just barely made it in 2008 when that thing hit, when Obama was getting, she said, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, no, we're going to talk about this right now. Oh, I laid it out to her. I said, so you might be pretty and everything, But right now, I done changed my mind on you. I'm going out this way over here. I'm going to go on my app and call an Uber. They're going to take me home and I ain't got to worry about a car note, okay? And guess what? If something should happen to me, even though I own my own company, I got good insurance. And if I die, my children are well off. So you can look at me as being self-employed and look at that whole tradition of what a real job is, but I could take care of you better than these other guys who are trying to struggle to keep up with that $300,000 house and that $50,000 car and working sometimes 2 jobs to try to manage you because you got high taste, you high maintenance. And I just realized by talking to you, you ain't right for me. Ooh-wee. Some churches teach people to look for the assets. Karen, I know. I said, you ain't right for me. I don't want you. I changed my mind. I walked out of that room so happy that I did not allow her to take me through the ropes of having to go through that high maintenance chick. I said, Walter, you just escaped a bullet. So when I see her now, this was a couple years ago, well, more than a couple. When I see her now, I laugh. And she don't know why I'm laughing, because sometimes we in the room and I just laugh. I just crack up. And she don't even know why I'm cracking up. Because she done been through relationship after relationship since that time, chasing the assets. And she done realized that these men were attached to the assets, but they were never attached to her heart. I wanted her heart, and I wanted to build something with her. I understand that. We were going to take what I had and what she had, and we were going to build it. No. Now, then I started the Sir Walter Jones show and all this other stuff, and then now she's like, hey, Walt, hey, call me. I'm like, no, I'm not interested. All right, y'all, it's raining, which means that's my time. And I don't trust these phones. I don't want to get electrocuted. Yeah, and a lot of men, I can't even read that because the water is on the screen. Y'all see the water on the screen? All right. Okay. Sisters and brothers, stop forcing each other to do stuff they don't want to do. Please. I had to get in the car. Because black folk, we melt. We melt, sisters. Yeah. Please, ladies, don't, spell it, you ladies. Don't let this mind be in you. That's what I want to say. You should call what she might need a ride. Wait, let me get this on. I had to clean my screen here. I can't see it. Yeah, Charlie Visa, thank you. Good night to you. And the rest of you, hit the share button if you can. If you're on YouTube, hit the bing, hit the bell. It's Saturday night, and I ain't got nobody. That's good. I got a glass of water, and I'm going to go home to my house and praise God that I didn't have a crazy woman living with me. I said that, and I'm going to wake up revived in the morning, Sunday morning, go to Sunday school and worship with the saints and go back home by myself thinking, thank God I didn't find no crazy woman to live with me today. Thank God I can go home when I feel like it. And live a good life, not having to worry about that stuff. But just know, God know, because I'm saying what I'm saying out of my mouth. But God know the heart though, and He know. So Walter may want to just settle it down a little bit. When that time may come sooner or later, and then I'm gonna do a romance in the park with somebody on my side. Yeah, be careful. You're talking all this stuff. She's on her way. I just said it, Bernier. I just said it. Who says she on her way though, Bernier? Why she got to be on her way? Why can't she? Why can't she? Shh. She right here. So watch the Jones Show.